ignored. It was a fitting silence from someone who'd caused so much noise. Then came Dad's downfall. His coworkers, the ones he bragged, my name is Stephanie Cook. I'm 30 years old, and for most of my life, I've been the one holding my family together. When bills piled up, I paid them. When their finances fell apart, I managed them. Whenever chaos hit, they called me to fix it. I never asked for thanks. I believe that's what family is for. But I was wrong. One night at 2 a.m. my phone lit up with a message that shattered everything I believed. You're out. This family doesn't need you anymore. It came from my parents in our family group chat. Seconds later, my brother reacted with celebration emojis, like he had been waiting for this moment. I just sat there in the dark, staring at the screen. My chest tightened. I had done everything, paid their rent, cleared their debts, kept their lives steady, and this was my reward. A cold text. All those years of sacrifice suddenly meant nothing to me. My hands trembled as I typed back. Perfect timing. I just canceled all the payments too. I hit send, blocked every number, and sat there in silence. Moments later, my phone blew up. 156 messages of panic, anger, and excuses. I didn't read a single one. For the first time, they were the ones scrambling. That night, I realized this wasn't the end, it was the beginning. For once, I wasn't fixing their problems. I was reclaiming my life. It didn't start with that text. It started years ago, back in our small demo home. I was a freelance accountant, managing the family's finances, paying every bill and balancing every late fee. I did it all because I thought love meant responsibility. Mom, 53, was diabetic, and I became her financial anchor. I fought insurance companies, found discounts for insulin, even drove across town at midnight to get her medicine. I handled her bills and her appointments not because I had to, but because I cared. Then there was Connor, my brother. When he lost his job, I used our savings to buy him a used truck so he could find work. He barely said thanks, just took the keys and drove off. I told myself he was just stressed. I was wrong again. Over time, I became invisible. Dad would glance at my spreadsheets like they didn't matter. Mom relied on me for everything but never said thank you. Connor acted like my help was his right. I was drained, working long hours for clients while managing their lives too. Every time I paid another bill, I hoped for appreciation that never came. Then Dad got a promotion, a new title, double the pay, and an inflated ego to match. Suddenly, family dinners stopped. Mom started throwing small get-togethers. I wasn't invited to. I'd drive by and see laughter, cars, music, but no call, no text, no place for me. I was slowly being erased. When I asked Mom about it, she brushed it off. Connor stopped replying to my messages altogether. The distance grew until I was nothing more than a ghost in their lives. Still, I checked our joint savings account, the one I had kept alive for years just to feel connected. Until one day I logged in and froze. $25,000 was gone. A single transfer straight to Connor's account. No warning. No message. No explanation. My stomach dropped. Then I saw the bank email I'd missed. A login from Mom's old device. She'd used credentials I'd given her years ago. That's when it hit me. They had done this together. My own family had stolen from me. I called my best friend Melissa. Through tears, I told her everything. She didn't pity me, she helped me fight back. Lock the account. Change everything, she said. And I did. Passwords, pins, fraud alerts, I shut them out completely. Then I called my lawyer, Timothy. I gave him every document, every deposit, every bill, every transfer. He drafted a demand letter giving them 5 days to return the money or face legal action. Their response? A family meeting, one I wasn't invited to. Mom painted me as greedy, twisting years of sacrifice into selfishness. They made me the villain. But I wasn't done. I gathered proof, bank logs, timestamps, IP addresses. Everything showing Mom's access and Connor's transfer. Connor texted me, calling me a traitor. I ignored him and sent it all to my lawyer. A week later, they filed a counterclaim, accusing me of owing them money, for rent, groceries, and even family debts. The same people I supported were now calling me a freeloader. Connor took it further, posting lies on social media, painting me as the thief. Comments poured in from relatives, judging me without knowing the truth. But I stayed silent. I had proof. For the first time, I wasn't the fixer. I was the fighter. They thought they could take everything from me, my money, my peace, my dignity. But this time I was ready to take it all back. Screen blurred as I fought back tears. Connor, the same brother who'd taken $25,000 from me without a word, was now rallying strangers online against me. His betrayal cut deeper than I ever imagined, each post carving into the trust one once had for him. That's when Melissa stepped in. Calm, focused, unshakable. She dug through public records and old bank statements from her office archives, unearthing tax filings and property documents that painted a very different picture. My parents, who claimed to be struggling, were actually thriving. Dad's promotion had doubled their income. They were far from victims. Melissa dropped the files off at my apartment, her expression all business as she handed me a thick folder of proof. "They're not struggling," she said quietly. "They're lying." Her work became my lifeline, hard evidence that cut through their web of deceit. Timothy, my lawyer, seized on her findings immediately. He built an airtight case, focusing on the unauthorized access to the joint account, the logins from Mom's device and Connor's withdrawal. Every timestamp, every transaction became a brick in the wall we were building, one that would finally hold them accountable. The pressure outside the courtroom was relentless. Aunts, uncles, cousins, they all called, pleading with me to let it go. One cousin cornered me at a cafe, whispering that I was tearing the family apart. Their guilt trip stung, but I carried that weight long enough. This time I wasn't backing down. Then came an unexpected text from one of Dad's old co-workers. He'd overheard Dad bragging at work about his new bonuses and plans to buy a vacation home. The same man who claimed I'd drained the family was boasting about luxury. I forwarded the message straight to Timothy. It was the final nail in their counterclaim. Undeniable proof of their lies. Word spread fast in our small Des Moines community. Melissa, never one to stay quiet, started setting the record straight. At a family barbecue I wasn't invited to, she laid it all out. How I'd paid the bills, covered medical expenses, and saved their home, only for them to turn around and steal from me. Faces fell. Whispers turned to silence. For the first time, the narrative was shifting. Even the church, where Mom had always been seen as a saint, turned on her. She'd been chosen to lead a big charity auction. But after Melissa's evidence surfaced, the pastor quietly replaced her. A neighbor told me she was humiliated, left to explain away the fallout she'd created. I didn't feel sorry for her. She'd written this ending herself. Connor wasn't spared either. His girlfriend dumped him in a public meltdown at a diner, fed up with his lies and failed business ventures. Ventures funded, I suspected, with my stolen savings. Within a week, he packed up and left town without a jet to, lost all respect. His boss caught wind of the lawsuit and the whispers about his family troubles. Within a month, Dad was let go. Their comfortable life vanished overnight. They'd built their world on my sacrifices, and without me, it all came crashing down. That I should have felt guilty. But I didn't. Their collapse wasn't my doing. It was karma catching up to us. As the trial approached, I poured everything into preparation. Timothy and I worked late nights, refining every argument, organizing every piece of evidence. Melissa's research, my records, the coworkers' messages, it was all there. I practiced my testimony, ready to face them not as the daughter they discarded, but as the woman they underestimated. And when Judgment Day came, justice finally spoke. The judge ruled in my favor, ordering my parents and Connor to repay the $25,000, plus all legal fees. The sound of the gavel echoed like closure. Within days, the money hit my account. It wasn't just about the money, it was about respect. I had taken my power back. I left Des Moines behind soon after, moving into a bright apartment in Cedar Rapids overlooking the river. I bought it outright, a home that was mine and mine alone. I installed cameras, smart locks, a fortress of peace. Each box I unpacked, each photo I hung, felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. I found community again, this time on my terms. I joined an art group downtown, spending evenings painting with people who saw me for who I was. There was Leia with her gentle humor and Marcus, whose bad puns kept us laughing through late-night sessions. Their friendship reminded me what real connection feels like. Mutual, not one-sided. One morning, a letter arrived, written in my mother's neat handwriting. It was filled with apologies, excuses, and pleas to come back home. Connor's signature was scrawled at the bottom like an afterthought. I read it once, then dropped it into the trash. Forgiveness isn't owed. Not to people who weaponize your kindness. Back in Des Moines, the family that once cast me out now lived in quiet ruin. Dad's job was gone. Mom's friends had drifted away. Connor was back in town but ostracized, his reputation in tatters. Their home, once lively, was now dark and cluttered with unpaid bills. They were alone, the very fate they'd wished upon me. And I was free. Looking back now, I see that their betrayal gave me the greatest gift, clarity. I learned to protect my peace, to value myself beyond obligation. Family doesn't give you worth. You define it yourself. To anyone watching or listening, never let guilt bind you to people who break you. Stand tall. Set boundaries. Rebuild. Because taking back your life isn't selfish, it's survival.